Hello there, my fellow notebook aficionados, and welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since we had a MacBook in the studio, and even longer since it was a MacBook Air. But Apple just recently refreshed their entry-level laptop with their M4 SoC. And since I was dealing with a lot of Windows laptops lately that cater to a similar audience, well, let's see what's changed on the macOS side of the fence. And to be quite honest, not that much. And whether that's a good or a bad thing really depends on your perspective. Simply put, when it comes to the Air's combination of form factor, performance, and the fact that it's still about the only passively cooled machine in this sort of mainstream computing segment of the market, there's nothing quite like it. But there are other areas in which the competition has caught up and can even outshine Apple's most affordable laptop with ease. And since I have been testing the ThinkPad X9 lately, I will reference it here and there since it's basically the same form factor. So while the M4 gives the 15-incher a significant performance advantage, and again, it's passively cooled, when it comes to display quality or battery life, for example, the competition is nearly as good or better. And while the Air starts at a lower price, if you want to upgrade RAM or storage, well, it gets expensive real fast. So let's get into it. Our review unit of the MacBook Air 15 in its pretty tasty looking light blue color comes with the M4, which gets you 10 CPU cores and a 10-core GPU alongside 16 gigs of RAM and a 1TB SSD. This actually puts it quite close to the X9 I mentioned earlier in terms of pricing with a similar configuration. In the display department, you get a pretty high-res IPS panel, but it's still limited to 60Hz, which is definitely a real bummer, especially if you're used to faster screens. It's definitely not a bad panel, with solid brightness and contrast numbers and very decent color gamut coverage and factory calibration. But if you are after some more eye candy, you are simply out of luck and either shell out for the MacBook Pros or again get something with an OLED on the Windows side of things. When it comes to the Air's chassis, nothing has changed. You still get a very gorgeous slab of aluminium that leaves nothing to be desired in terms of build quality, even though it's definitely not the lightest 15-incher in its class. The port situation is still limited if functional. The two USB-Cs have been upgraded to Thunderbolt 4, which allows you to connect up to 2 external displays, a headphone jack and an Apple MagSafe connector. The latter is especially smart since it keeps your USBs free for other peripherals while you're charging. While you still have to make do with Wi-Fi 6E, transfer rates in our testing have been very stable and snappy, and with the new 12-megapixel webcam you have access to center stage, which follows you around if you move a lot during your Zoom meetings. Most of you will probably also be alright with the 15's keyboard, but I would personally prefer a bit more travel and tactility, again something like you would get in the X9 for example. The haptic touchpad is still as good and reliable as ever, and you will definitely have no problem at all interacting with your shiny new MacBook, even without additional peripherals. Alright, so let's talk performance. We already know what the M4 is capable of from the latest MacBook Pro 14, so it will be very interesting to see how the form factor of the MacBook Air and the fact that it's passively cooled affect that very performance. And, well, shockingly, not that much to be honest. Initially, the Air can almost keep up with the latest Snapdragon X Elite chips and easily sits atop Lunar Lake when it comes to multi-core loads. And in single-core scenarios, well, it's not even a competition at this point. And even under longer load, which will probably not happen often with this one, you only lose around 10% of the initial performance figures, which is still faster than the X9 for example. System performance tells a similar story, and even though you will probably not really feel it, the numbers are definitely on Apple's side here. GPU performance is also very impressive, though you will feel it a lot more if you stress the Air for longer, for example while gaming. Our synthetic results, at least for the tests we can run on all platforms, still show some pretty insane numbers for the MacBook, and the Windows competition is left behind quite spectacularly. Gaming performance will always be a bit hit or miss depending on your games and whether they have to be emulated or run natively. If they do, well, once again performance is very solid, just be aware that your FPS will get lower over time to keep thermals in check. When it comes to noise, as always, we recorded some samples for you so you can get a more subjective impression. Well, just kidding, it's passive. Nearly got you there, didn't I? Anyways, I still can't believe that no other manufacturer tried to make a passively cooled MacBook Air competitor, especially since with Intel's Lunar Lake it should theoretically be possible by now. But yeah, as a Windows user it still feels somewhat unreal to achieve this level of performance without any fan noise. The speakers are also very decent, but while the Windows competition took a while to catch up, they eventually did, and again, the X9 offers even better sound than the Air. So that leaves us with battery life, and well, it's a MacBook, it's great and can still hold its own against what's out there, even though once again the gap has been narrowed. And sorry for sounding like a broken record, the X9 is even better, but also bets on a bigger battery. Alrighty folks, that was the MacBook Air 15 in a nutshell, and what can I say? You still have to deal with a 60Hz IPS panel and some pretty outrageous upgrade charges for RAM and storage and the non-existent maintenance options. But when it comes to offering an almost complete everyday computing experience without a lot of drawbacks, well, the MacBook is very tough to beat. Personally, I would wish for a better screen option and maybe a more tactile keyboard. But apart from that, the Air is a very sleek laptop with great performance and long runtimes. And the fact that it's passively cooled still makes me very jealous as a Windows guy. But please folks, let me know what you think about this one, sound off in the comments below. This should also be it for today, thanks a ton for watching, and since I talked about it so much, maybe check out our ThinkPad X9 video. As always, please leave your like and sub on your way out. My name is Alex, you have been fantastic and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.